All right, perfect. I thought I'd catch up. Welcome back to the big board. I wanted to try and wrap up on Korsun Pocket and sort of share where I'm at with the game more than anything else. I'm going to call it here at the Soviet turn 18, which would be 4 Soviet turns short of the completion. The game's at the 8th of February night turn, and it's cold, it's foggy, and it's frozen. And we would have 3 more turns potentially for the Soviets, and 3 or 4 more turns for the Germans. I'm not calling it because I really want to. I'm calling it because I've got this virus thing, this bacterial thing that's shingles, I think is what it's called. And it's incredibly uncomfortable, and it's making me have a really hard time concentrating on gameplay and rules and goofing around, right? And doing stuff. So I've been trying to play some vassal games, and I can't concentrate on them. I can concentrate on them if I take enough aspirin or whatever. But like I can't wear a shirt or anything. I'm wearing the shirt now so I can film the video with you guys, so you don't need to see my naked chest. It's a cool t-shirt, actually. It's a Liberty t-shirt. It's celebrating Treason Day, basically. Well, it's not really Treason Day, but whatever. Bang. So here's the deal, and here's why I think it's a good place to stop, even though it may feel like it's a cutting things short. I don't think, given the weather situation, there will be no more deep mud. Now, if we were playing variable weather, there could be more deep mud. There also could be more frozen, which would be beneficial to the Germans. And the deep mud is not beneficial to the Germans, obviously enough, because it washes away all the roads. If you've been following that construct or that series of commentary that I have been working on or sharing with you, I guess. So the map, if we look at the map, and I'm going to zoom in here a little bit if I can. I'm not sure if I can do it with this director's view here, but I thought I'd put my mug on screen since I haven't really done that with this game. Anyway, Soviets have done a pretty good job pushing here with 38th Infantry, 42nd Guard, 75th, I think, is in here as well, and of course, the 16th Tank Corps, which is still bringing units to bear here. Very strong 3-7-6s, so 3 combat factor, 7 defense factor. They're still trying to get into the battle here. The mud is affecting them, right? So they've got to be in column to get any road benefit. And they've moved by column so far, but now they're really at the point where they need to transition to non-column movement. They could probably do 1 more turn of column movement, but there's all these other units in the way, so that's going to cause issues. I'd have to shuffle all those guys out of the way. So they're not going to get into the fight. And what the Germans have done is pull back. There's a river here, and they've now that they don't have to kind of man the roads to keep the roads going in deep mud, they've now moved all their engineers during the frozen weather, flipped into column mode, raced down here, and they've now started putting fortifications in. And the key here for the Soviets to stop the Germans from having any chance of success at all is to take this section here and block it with a zone of control or a unit, such that it stops, it removes this one supply source road that the Germans have left. They've got one here as well, but the Russians will probably clear this out. As long as the Germans can, for 4 turns, hold this area here just a little bit off screen at the bottom, they're in good shape. So this road is the key road. Where does it go? Here, up to here. That's a key section of the deployment for the, yeah, we can't zoom. A key section, I'm going to pop out of the screen here, and I wonder if I can change this. Probably can't change it mid-recording. So as long as we've got this little section of road here, and there's another, I probably bumped all this stuff and moved it since it now no longer really matters. Yeah, so there was another road construction piece there. I'm trying to find, we will pop this down here, that was here. So this allows all these guys to be either in supply or limited supply, and that keeps that beachhead, the bridgehead in supply, which gives them their victory, right? Now there's another strong attack coming here with 3rd Tank Corps and 58th and some elements from 40th Army. They've done it, and some of even what's left of 5th Mech, they're pressing in here. Once again, the Germans are looking to build fortifications here. They've really beefed up a lot of this hex. You know, like I brought Baki. I started pulling during the last couple of frozen turns, the 7th AM and 9th. The night of the 7th was frozen as well. I used that to scoot forces from the bridgehead down here. I thinned out this section here because it doesn't really matter now, and reinforced this area here because this is where 3rd Tank was actually making really good progress here, and really it's giving me a bit of what for. I've got a whole division trying to get on the map here. You know, I haven't even bothered with the column movement stuff. I just spread these guys out and move them X number of hexes a turn. For the first turn they come on the board, and then the second turn we can scooch them all up together a little bit. We worked all that out. Kind of, there's a sort of standardized way that happens, and I'm shortcutting the rules a little bit, but you know, trying to get the Soviets into the battle, but sort of abiding by the intent of the rule, which is basically slow to, you know, if you're in column, shit takes longer. So we got all these guys moved in. There's lots and lots of counters now on the map here. 340th Division has arrived as well. They're trying to press in on the action. Once again, I think with only 3 or 4 turns, they're not going to get down to this area here just off map, or this area here to try and block this road, right? It's, you know, technically, I guess this needs to point this way. They're not going to get there. I don't see how it's happening. The Germans haven't even really had to take too many step losses at all. They took their first step losses in the last couple of days right here, declining to retreat. They took step losses. They've now pushed the 34th, which was up north here, into here. When they fight, they will be in a strong point, and they will also get the benefit of having regimental integrity. And we'll have this fortified in 2 or 3 turns, and lots of arty here that we can use. They're going to be in limited supply. They're going to be in supply, so they won't have any issues there. Well, these guys actually, let's see, will they be in supply? 10, 3, 6, 9. So they might be in limited supply, which means their effectiveness will be halved. But hey, I've got enough artillery here that I can boost any 1 or 2 defenses and go for it. Now, I guess what the Soviets could do is just do a bunch of 1-to-1 and 2-to-1 attacks, and then force the Germans to attrit heavily. That might be a strategy that could change the outcome. I just don't know that they're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is fortified here. They're going to do 7 hex advance in 1, 2, 3, in 4 turns. It's just not going to happen. The mud limits the advancing, and really kind of bogs both players down a little bit. Even though it's an attacker-friendly CRT, I can't see it happening. Anyway, all right, I gotta stop the video and go take some more aspirin or something. But really interesting game. The last couple of turns have been highly attritionally oriented. Lots of attrition going on. Lots of not a lot of attacks for the Russians because they're really struggling to get decent odds. And even though the CRT is attacker friendly, I was loath to just throw away steps, right? I think there's a point where it gets a bit silly where you're just using basically swarming tactics, and some of these stacks are pretty tough. Like that's going to be 12. That's going to be 24 defense factors doubled, doubled because they're doubled in this fortress. There's no way I'm going to get a 1-to-1 attack. There's just not enough artillery here, and the air at night's not going to be a factor, so it's very hard for the Soviets to get decent odds if you start piling up guys. Now, at a 1-to-2, if I do get a D1, am I going to retreat with this guy? Maybe, right? I may not want to lose an armored step there because they drop in capability. Well, they have, right? So anyway, things to think about, but I probably got to stop here. This shingles nonsense is going to last another 2 weeks, I'm told, at least. And in-depth, detailed, long-term concentration is not happening at the moment. So I'm gonna let this sucker go for now. And what I want to do is, once I get through the shingles business, and hopefully when I've got a little more room in a month or two, I will reset this scenario up now that I've got some more experience with the system and how it works. We've done at least 100 combats in this now. We've played 18 turns. There obviously lots of little mistakes made along the way, but I think it all kind of basically came out in the wash and worked out okay. I want to play with variable weather, because what that does do, while it may give the Germans a little bit of advantage, it's not going to allow them to plan, kind of like a weather forecaster, plan for the deep mud, which is the big issue that causes the problems for the Germans' advance, right? So I think the variable weather might actually be more interesting to play this particular scenario number 4. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'd like to get to in the next month or so. We'll bring this back to the table. We got a little bit of packing up to do, and we'll kind of go for it from there. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys roll. You go roll dice. I'm gonna go sit outside or do something to get some fresh air. Talk to you soon.